Welcome in, I'm Artris, and today let's talk about probably one of my favorite decks to come from OP04, Rebecca. Now Rebecca is a deck that is a combo-oriented control deck that is built around the Dressrosa theme. The thing about this leader, it's a little bit more unique than some of the other leaders we've seen in the fact that it cannot attack. However, it does have a searcher built into its ability. You pay one once per turn. If you have 6 or less cards in your hand, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck and reveal one Dressrosa type character or card and add it to your hand. This is super powerful as you're able to get the combo pieces that you're needing to be able to pop off in the game. Let's go over some of the key pieces that you're going to include in most standard Rebecca lists. As you can see, we're running 4 of for a lot of the Dressrosa cards. The most important one, in my opinion, is Orlumbus. This card is very much the engine of the deck itself. Once per turn, activate main. You can reduce the cost of up to one of your opponent's characters by -4, and then trash the top 2 cards of your deck. The only pitfall here is you have to KO one of your Dressrosa type characters. However, there is synergy in the deck that allows you to do that without kind of feeling bad about it. We're running 2 of the blocker Issho. If I pronounce that incorrectly, please let me know in the comments. I know somebody will. We're running 4 of the 2K Gyats. 4 Kairos, which is also very important. So since your leader can't attack, this is basically like your leader. Then we're running 4 of the blocker Sabo. This card is amazing. When it comes down on play, all of your characters that are on the field at the time cannot be KO'd by effects for a whole turn cycle, and then you draw 2, trash 2. I'm incredibly surprised that they printed this. It's not overly powered, but the effects that you get from it, it's just like, wow, it feels amazing. It's great. I can't say that enough. And then we're running 4 of the Bartos. This is a great 2K counter in the fact that it is a 2K counter or it is a blocker if you so choose. So 2K counters with techs are very nice here. We're running 4 of the 7 cost, 7K body Monkey D. Luffy. This is your win condition, by the way. Once you throw this down, it is very much a presented lethal threat very often. So what it does is it can attack active characters and then activate main once per turn. You may return 7 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order, and then you can set this character as active. After that, you cannot, if you swing with it, you cannot restand it again in your next refresh phase. What you're usually going to use this for is to do your one-hit KO with your King Kong gun. We'll get to that in a second. We're running 4 Leos, which this is basically like your Kairos, except a 1-drop. So basically what this does is you may rest your leader and you KO something on your opponent's side of the field that's 1 cost or less. So you pair this with Orlumbus, so you can KO anything 5 or below. Same thing with Kairos. 4 of Rebecca, which Rebecca is your searcher. So if you have more than 6 cards in hand and you can't use your leader ability, you can just play this Rebecca down and it's basically the same thing. You get 1 extra card off the search and you're still looking for Dressrosa type. And then to round out our Dressrosa cards, we're running 3 King Kong gun. This is very much a closer for a lot of what you have. You can throw it on a lot of your characters that are Dressrosa types. It gives them plus 6,000 power. And if you have 15 or more cards in your trash, that character gains double attack. So what you often will see is that Luffy will be set up for this towards the end game where your opponent has maybe 2 life left. You swing in with Luffy and King Kong gun for 13k double attack, and then you restand and then swing again for game, which is very, very powerful. And then we're running 3 of the Corrida Coliseum, which allows your characters to attack other characters the turn that they're played. So it gives them like a pseudo rush, but only towards other characters, which is still really strong. Like I said, the way that this deck is built is very much a combo-oriented control style deck. So you're trying to starve your opponent of resources by attacking their characters and not really attacking their life as much. Now, where we're adding some little special techs in, which you might see differently in different decks here, we're running 3 of the 3,000 worlds. In my opinion, I think it's better than Truno Bastardo, simply because it doesn't KO. Some cards are very sticky and you can't KO them, so instead you can just send them to the bottom of the deck. It is not searchable off of Rebecca, which sometimes you will end up putting it in the trash, if it happens, it happens. We're running 3 Tashigi, which is a 2k counter, but you can also throw this down and give a character -2 by resting Tashigi. This will act as a pseudo blocker because your opponent will likely not want that to restand the next turn, so they'll attack into it, preserving your life, and also kind of giving you some synergy by reducing cost of other cards. And where my special techs come in, I'm running 2 10-drop Kuzan, which this does really well against yellow decks. And it pairs really well with Orlumbus. So if you have Orlumbus on the field, you minus something by 4, then you play Kuzan, and you can kill anything that is 9 cost or less, which is very powerful. So if you're playing against Newgate, for instance, you can KO their 9 cost or anything at that point. And then the other special tech that I have are 2 10-drop Kaido. Now, I'm not 100% sure if I like this in the deck. However, there are certain times where it comes up very handy. In the mirror matchup, it's very powerful, being able to bounce back the 7-cost Luffy and then also the 3-cost Kairos. In the Queen matchup, which is a very rough matchup, you're able to bounce things back to their hand, and that's something that Queen doesn't want. They don't want a big hand size, they want a small hand size to be able to proc their leader ability, and then after that, having a 12k body to swing with is very powerful. The only other deck that you're really going to struggle with is probably Blue Crocodile, and honestly, there's not much I can say to help you with that. You just kind of have to do your best, throw as many bodies on the field as you can. Kairos is really strong, and then hope to God that they don't have back-to-back red rocks or just bottom deck everything you have. So that's going to be your real struggle there, are with those couple of decks, Katakuri, Queen, and Croc. But other than that, this deck does really well against red decks like Law, Zoro, and Whitebeard. And I imagine as we're going to go through this meta, we'll see a lot of red pop up. We definitely saw it over in the Knoxville tournament that happened this past, I think it was a week ago. Obviously, Zoro won. We had Whitebeard at the top, and Law did well too. But Rebecca unfortunately got on the left side of the bracket with a bunch of Crocs and Queens, and so therefore didn't perform as well. But I think Rebecca overall is a very strong leader. Let's see if we can get the Kuzan Kaido combo, which basically is you throw down Kuzan, and then the following turn you throw down Kaido, and you bounce pretty much anything that's on the field back to the opponent's hand. And then you have a couple of thick boys staring them down for the next turn. So yeah, let's get into some games and see how the deck does. All right, we're going to go against Whitebeard here. We're going to try to take second against them. With Whitebeard, this is a deck where you kind of want to set up your Luffy and then go King Kong Gun, double swing towards the end, counter out of what you can, set up Orlumbus early, and kind of pick off the pieces that they're throwing down, because they're only really playing one character a turn. We don't have the pieces we need right now, but we can probably draw into them. We have the Kuzan at the end, although it might be a little late for the Kuzan. We'll grab the Kairos though, because I think that's at least fine to do right now. And on top of that, we'll go ahead and play the Leo and just KO the Chopper. Just get it out of here. Ideally, we come across an Orlumbus next turn, maybe a Luffy. We're not going to be able to counter out of that, so it's fine. We'll just take it. We do have the Luffy, so we're on the path to success. We will play the Rebecca down and hope to grab... Still no Orlumbus, but we'll grab the Sabo. And then just to play something down for the time being, I'm going to throw down the Kairos and pass. All of the stuff that's non-Dressrosa is in our graveyard, or trash, unfortunately. We're going to go ahead and counter out of this. I think what I want to do... Play the Sabo down. This is one where I think maybe the Kaido could be good here. So we're going to get rid of the Kuzan, and I think next turn we're going to be playing down the Luffy. So let's just throw down the Sabo as well. And we can search for something. Okay, we'll get the Leo and pass. We're not seeing our Orlumbus, which is really a key piece here. I think we'll be fine overall. This is their ace turn, so we have to keep in mind, like, if we block with Sabo, Sabo might die here. But the following turn, we can establish a Luffy. And then the following turn after that, we can get rid of a couple of their bodies. So we're just going to counter out. If they go 6 again, then we'll counter out with that. There's no reason to take any of these, really. We kind of have the pieces we need, and we're sitting at a healthy life total, too. Since they are going 7, I think I want to take this. What could they do? They might play Thatch. Actually, we can block and then do a 2K. That's fine. I don't think we can attack into any other stuff, really. So what I'll end up doing is I'll just search to begin with. We'll grab a 2K, and then we'll throw down the Luffy, and then we'll pass. This might be one of those decks that are built with no Fossa. They might be doing more of like a Strawbeard version of this deck with a couple of Whitebeard pirates thrown in. Again, we'll just counter out. It could be a little bit awkward. Let's see here, they're at 9. They could have Newgate. So just to be safe, we'll counter out again. And then we'll just take the next hit. I'm okay taking another hit here. That's fine. What is the right play here? I think I want to bounce their Thatch back. And also, I might want to bounce my Leo as well. I want to have something... Maybe another counter in hand isn't too horrible to have. They'll swing a couple of 6s here. They might. If I were them, I'd probably just swing 7 all the way across, because it's a little bit harder for me to defend. I'm also out of 2Ks, so we'll take the first hit, see what we get. But honestly, this is a really strong top end here, where we're swinging with a 12, and then Luffy twice. It's pretty devastating. Now, I've seen some Newgates have enough counter to be able to counter out of it all, but I doubt they're going to be able to swing or counter out of a 12K. And then if we stack all on, that is tremendous. That is going to be like 13, that's like a 20K attack twice. Yeah, we'll take the first one. That's okay. I'm just trying to be like aware that there could possibly be an ace coming down. I don't really want to use my Sabo quite yet. Because I have so many Leos, I'm just going to drop a couple of them if they swing 6 here. I'm going to drop 1 and I'll drop the other blocker just to be safe. Now, if they swing in with Edward Newgate, their leader, with just 6, I'll block. Probably throw a Sabo down. Okay, we'll take this one. That's fine. So they don't play any blockers. They have 5 Dawn up. Very interesting. I think we just kind of go for it. I think we just go balls to the wall and say, hey, do you have it? If you have it, congrats, that's awesome. If you don't, sorry. $12K is a hefty thing to be able to counter out of. So ideally for them, they would probably have like a Rad Beam and then maybe a guard point. They have a Red Hawk, maybe a guard point here. Wow, did they really not have it? I didn't expect that. Honest to God, I really didn't expect that. To be fair, I probably had enough to be able to win with the Luffy alone, but having a Kaido on the field really is a hard for them to counter out of. So yeah, strong showing there, even if we didn't see the Orlumbus. Okay, so this time around, what we're going to try to do is we're going to throw down as many Kairos as possible. We'll keep the Kairos, because I think against Queen, Kairos, if we can throw them down, it's really strong. Okay, we're going to grab the Sabo. Blockers are always good. Perfect. We have 3 Kairos, and we bought... we got rid of a Kaido, the card that I think does really well against Queen, unfortunately. We will take this hit, because we can't... We don't have a 2K to get rid of it, and to get out of it, so... Unfortunate. I think next what we can do is just throw another Kairos down. Throw a Kairos, maybe look for something with Rebecca. Rebecca into Orlumbus. We'll actually throw the Orlumbus down because I think Orlumbus is pretty good here. And we'll pass. By the way, the simulator being able to move your cards around in hand is OP. Love it. Ooh, look at that. That's spicy. Place up to one of your opponent's cost 3 or lower characters on the top or bottom of your opponent's life face up. Okay, cool. We are going to get rid of this. We're gonna swing in with 5. Oh my god. Look at all these blockers. Crazy. I think we're just gonna throw another one down. And then we're gonna use the ability. Grab another Orlumbus and pass. Basically, with Queen, you just want to swing as many 5s as possible, kind of make their hand hurt. But they do have a lot of blockers here, so we're kind of in a weird position, to be quite honest. I think what's the right move next turn is we could go Sabo, use Orlumbus ability, maybe. I think we'll stay healthy. We'll stay healthy here. What do they have for 6? Another pound? Jeez, look at this. This is disgusting. Yeah, the wall is disgusting here. That is crazy. Okay, we're just gonna get rid of... We're just gonna get rid of this. I think we can get rid of this and maybe a King Kong gun. Use the ability. Cool. And then I think what I'll do is I'll just search for something. I'll throw the stage down. What are they most enticed to get rid of? Probably my Orlumbus. Cool. They are at 10 Dawn, which is really scary, which is where they start to pop off. I imagine they'll do something for 9 and then KO something. They can only KO my Leo, so Mihawk would probably be the best thing for them to play. It's going to be really hard to get past all these blockers, though. I'll say that. That is fine. Swing 5. We will get rid of a King Kong gun. Maybe an Orlumbus. I think we just play this down. Can we search? Yes. And then we'll pass. We'll pass. They probably have something good in hand, I would imagine. Maybe they drew. Maybe they top deck like a god here. Because they played a Soga King, which means that they might not have something great. Oh, top deck a Mihawk, are you kidding me? Always, I swear. We'll take the hit. Oh, I want to take the... I want to use the trigger here. I want to see what I can get. We can get rid of one of these, and then maybe... I don't think we're going to be able to activate the Sabo, or sorry, the Leo anytime soon, so we'll drop the other one. We're kind of looking for Luffy here if we can, because we want Luffy to be able to clear their blockers. I think that's pretty important. Throw the Gats. Perfect. Perfect. We are just clearing the blockers if we can. Throw another Luffy in. King Kong gun's good. And then maybe one more 2K. Let's go for the... They're going to block this anyway. So let's go for Soga King. Yeah. Figured as much. Another Gats. Get another Rebecca. We'll get another Luffy. Swing in here. I'm actually going to swing at the Soga King. Cool. That gets rid of a blocker, which is what we like to see. They do have... probably are able to use their leader ability here. Oh my god. Always a Yamato. Always. Crazy. Yeah, it'll die. We could counter out of this one. We can get rid of one Yamato, and we can get rid of a Yamato or a Mihawk. So I think what we'll do is I'm gonna swing 6 Soga King. I'll attack the Yamato. They'll probably counter out. And then we'll attack the Mihawk. Ooh. They did not counter out. Do we have a chance here? Yeah. That's fine. Did they top deck something really good? Queen players always top deck something really good. Why? Why? Oh my god, that's painful. That is painful. Get rid of this. We'll search. We'll swing in. Oh man, we're living on the edge here. We have bottom decked and trashed all of the good stuff. Unlucky. By the way, these games will definitely go to time if Rebecca versus Queen. If there's any of these at like regionals or treasure cups, we're in for a good old time. Okay. All right. Jesus. It's actually criminal. It's actually criminal how much they heal. Perfect. Luffy off the top like a dog. Let's get it. We could throw another Kuzan in there. Sure, why not? Ooh, we're gonna set up for King Kong Gun next turn, baby. Let's go. God, these blockers, man. I swear. Okay, so they top decked a Yamato last turn. Did they top deck something else this turn that's crazy? They might. Okay, they didn't. We are extremely lucky. They go all in. I can't do anything about it. That's fine. Let's search first. God bless. Let's go Sabo, see what we can get. I think we're gonna trash 1 and 1. Just go in with 5. Jeez Louise, that's crazy. And then we'll grab an Orlumbus, and I think we'll pass. That is nuts. Just absolutely nuts. They probably planned it that way, though, because I think they Perona'd to see what they could throw on their life. Makes sense. Of course, the Katakuri. That's smart. Another heal. We'll just block it. I think we go 5 here. We're so low towards the end of the deck that we are getting pretty dangerous. I'm gonna King Kong gun the Rebecca because they will block here. They don't want to take double. Okay. I'm gonna go 6. I think I have to get rid of the Kuzan here. And an Orlumbus. Do I use my leader ability? Yes. Ah! End the turn. That's crazy. So next turn, what we'll do is we'll swing at the Katakuri. Actually, we can swing at the blockers because they might be able to counter out. What we're going to hope to do is we're going to hope to throw down our Luffy, swing in at stuff. Sure. I'll counter out. Why not? They might swing Sogeking at Sabo, and then they might swing Bart. Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Oh, Sogeking was just played this turn. Okay, so what we'll do is we will go Luffy. One, two. Get a 2K out of hand. 1. I want to get my... I want to be able to use my Kaido. What's the point of it? Just as many blockers as possible. We're going to need it. I think we just go again. And then pass. They might go all in on the Luffy, which is fine. Luffy acts as kind of like a pseudo blocker here. Oh my god, another Yamato? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. At least they can't heal off of it. Okay. The move here... I think the move here is... Oh, can we do it? I think so. Gosh, I don't even know what to put back at this point. Kuzan, Sabo. Just all the good stuff. As much good stuff as possible. At this point, it doesn't really matter as much. They are at... this amount. This is a very crucial turn where I have to clear their board. I'm gonna swing in the Sogeking. Cool. Swing in at the Yamato. We're gonna get rid of one of them. I'm just spam clicking at this point because it doesn't really matter. We'll go here. I mean, they can't counter out, but that's fine. We'll go here. Jesus. All right, so we have 2 Yamatos in the trash. Mihawk. We've gotten rid of a lot of their stuff. I'm gonna go empty-handed for this one. We'll get rid of, we're gonna do bottom deck stuff again. It's fine. Cool. I feel like we're in the danger zone where we're gonna bottom deck our Kaido again. I feel like it's coming back around. Yeah. Yep. Called it. All right, so our board is okay. They don't have any blockers quite yet. If they go for the Luffy, that's fine. They might go Perona into... Yeah, Perona into Rebecca. They might have a big... Yeah. Dang. Always. They heal off of this. I think we go 1, 2, 3. Hope to God that they don't have triggers in life. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to draw. Oh, we can't. We already did it. And pass. Ay, ay, ay. If they bottom deck, we are screwed. I think I might have misplayed that. I probably should have done Kairos and then swing the rest on Sabo there. However, I got a little ahead of myself. I got excited. I saw the victory and it now slowly escaping me. That's fine. Okay. This hurts. Hurts, man. What can we do? What can we do? Close game, but unfortunately, that's all she wrote. Whew. All right, we're gonna go first against the Zoro. I don't know if I really like this hand. It does have a Leo, so we'll keep it. We'll just use our ability to get the Orlumbus. Orlumbus really isn't that powerful of a character in this matchup. What you want to see are your Leos, your Kairoses. That's fine. Although they do have a Newgate, so we have to keep that in mind. So we're probably going to throw down our Orlumbus at some point so that we can have an answer to the Newgate. But I think to begin with, we'll just start throwing down some of the smaller bodies here. All right, let's go Leo. Let's search for something. Get a Luffy, and then we'll throw down another Rebecca. I think the Gats is probably our best bet because we do want to have a little bit of protection against the Zoro. Since we're not seeing our pieces like Leo and Kairos, I think it's important to stay alive in the meantime. So we'll just counter out. I think it's fine to go ahead and do this. We're going to drop the 10 drop. I really don't think it has much place in this matchup, so we'll get rid of both of them. That was their entire turn, so now what we can do is just swing Rebecca into the Issho. Pretty safely, actually. And then I think I'm going to throw an Orlumbus down and a Rebecca, grab another Sabo, and then pass the turn. This way, Orlumbus at least is established on the board. They have an incentive now to try to get rid of it, because that is a card that they probably don't want to see, even though in my opinion, it doesn't put in as much work as it does in other matchups. But we want to go ahead and get that on the field before their Newgate turn, so that we can hopefully get a 3000 world and be able to Orlumbus 3000 world, then Newgate away. Next turn, I think it's safe for us to go ahead and throw down the Luffy, although Sabo is a good choice as well because Sabo will keep us from getting our units KO'd, which this turn they might use like a Marco, like a 5-drop Marco. They could go Fire Fist as well. So I think the next turn, instead of throwing down the Luffy, I think it's probably safer to go ahead and throw down a Sabo, just to keep our units safe. Looks like they're going to go ahead and use the Fire Fist right now, though. Which... oh well, that's 2 cards out of hand, and it looked like they used a Fire Fist to get rid of it, so that's fine. Because they did that, I'm just going to go ahead and throw my Luffy down. Luffy prevents... like, really prevents them from wanting to throw their new gate, because if they throw their new gate down, I can actually just stack a lot on and swing twice at the new gate. It might not be the most efficient use of my Dawn, but damn, it feels good. I think it's fine that we didn't use our Sabo here, because if the Leo dies, it's fine. Leo's not we're not using Leo to attack the Zoro. We're using it to just like pop things off the board. So if they want to use their Marco to get rid of it, I'm totally fine with that. Okay, we'll just counter out. If they're throwing 6s at us, I'm fine with it. It's totally fine. Okay, we'll use Leo. I will also use our ability. Do I want Kairos or do I want Barto? I think I want Kairos. Do I want another Luffy? I think I do. What I'm going to end up doing this turn is I'm going to use my Luffy as kind of like a pseudo blocker. I'm going to attack into the Marco. We're just going to ask for cards out of their hand. Their hand is really hefty right now. Okay, we'll grab this. We'll grab this. We're just going to grab all the blockers we can. All the things that pop their units. Maybe a King Kong gun just to be safe. Once again, I don't expect this to die. That was not the goal. The goal is just to get cards out of the hand. Because now, what I can do is, they're probably going to play Newgate this turn. They can swing 8, 7, 8 at my Luffy if they really care to. I don't think we're going to use our Leo anytime soon, so we'll just get rid of one of those. I think I'll take the life. I don't mind. So this is where it gets really tricky. I'm probably going to end up putting 14. 14 a good number here? Yeah, I think 14 twice at the Newgate is exactly what I want to do. And there you go. It is gone. We want to avoid putting our 10 drops in. Okay. We're going to use this again. Just want to whittle the hand down. They probably have a bunch of events. Wow. Okay, that was their last event. So their board is clear. Our Luffys are frozen. They're at 5 life, though. We're in a little bit of a predicament where we need to start chipping in at their life. We got rid of the 1 Newgate, though, so that does feel good. It's very likely that they just put all of their Dawn and go at the Luffy. They also might just go for life. If I were them, I would just go for life. At the same time, though, if I have the counters, I'm just going to use it to save my Luffy. We can bottom deck there. Marco, we'll put the Sabo down, and then we have the King Kong gun for the next turn. That is perfect. So what I'll end up doing is getting rid of the Kairos. And I'm going to be honest, I really don't need the Coliseum at this point. I'll use my leader ability to grab another 2K and then pass. We don't have enough in the graveyard or the trash right now to be able to use our King Kong gun effectively. But that's quite all right. We can still stack some of that up. They do have a jet pistol, which is going to be dead in their hand because I'm going to end up playing another Sabo the next turn. I'll probably swing at the buggy. Whatever they throw down on their side of the field, I'll end up swinging. 8. Did they go 9? Do we protect this? Is the question. They go 10. So I suppose we do. I'd like some cards in hand, so I'll take this life here. Double Coliseum is really troll. I really don't want that. Okay. I'm just going to start swinging at their board. Not much they can do there. Throw this down just to throw it down. We'll get rid of one Coliseum and then maybe another Kairos, I think is fine. Then we can pass. We're getting to the stage in the game, though, where we are running a little bit low on resources, so I would like to start attacking their life really soon. However, I don't really want to do that until I have... I think I'll take it until I have, like, I don't know. What is it? 3 more cards in the trash? That is fine. Go here. We're just going to set up for a lethal here. Something to keep in mind. Ooh. That is annoying. I was going to say something to keep in mind here is that they might have pistols in life, but I think we're okay now. They do have one pistol in hand. They might use the pistol on the Sabo. Totally fine if so. Yeah. Figured as much. Double pistol. Wow. That's actually hilarious. Which means that we can actually set up for lethal next turn. Because all we have to do here is swing 9. King Kong gun. Swing 13, double attack. Restand, doesn't matter what we throw back. And then pour the rest on. Swing again. And that's how you do it. That's how you control the board against Zoro. That was a really good match there. So, yeah, Zoro's a really tough matchup in the sense that they do have a lot of aggression, but once you get past that aggression, you can start whittling down their hand. You should be okay. All right, we're going to go against an Issho. I think I want to take second against the Issho. I think my curve fits second better. This is a decent hand. We have Orlumbus and we have Kaido ready to go. We can look for some of the other pieces, but we're already kind of like halfway there. We'll start off with the Colosseum and then use our leader ability to search for... I think Luffy's probably the best pick to grab there. Since we already have one Orlumbus, it's fine to grab a Luffy that we don't have quite yet. Issho is a very interesting one. I think that Issho has really good potential in this meta. I don't think people have cracked it quite yet, but I have seen quite a few variants of it where there's a mixture of like Supernova plus also Navy. There's some good synergies that I don't think have been quite discovered, but hopefully we can see what this person's cooking up. Looks like they're going more of the Navy route. Let's go ahead and play the Orlumbus and then just pass. I have a feeling that Orlumbus might not make it another turn. Issho is really good at KOing things, especially if they have the 5-cost Garp, where all you have to do is rest it, throw something out of your hand, and then KO something that's 4 cost or less. So that is Orlumbus's worst nightmare. But we have the Sabo next turn to throw down. Protected from that. Thankfully, we don't see that. We do have just the Borsalino, which we'll never get rid of. That's okay. All right, so we'll just throw the Sabo down, see what we can get off of it. I think for now, I don't really care to get the King Kong gun or the Luffy just yet. I don't think it's time for it just yet. We'll come across another King Kong gun here shortly. I have a feeling. Kaido's really good against Issho in the sense that we can't ever KO the Borsalino. And because we can't do that, we can just bounce it back to their hand. Just block. It's a free block. Get rid of the Rebecca. I think what I want to do here is... Yeah, I think that's fine. I think Yat's down. I'm going to play it. I don't think it really matters. And then I'm going to swing in with my Kairos. I'm going to swing 6 because I don't want them to block for free with their Borsalino. And then we'll play a blocker of our own. So yeah, it looks like we're set up okay for the next turn. If we can keep the Orlumbus alive, we can pretty much guarantee that we'll bounce back anything on their side of the board. We're also, if they run the 8-drop Issho, we're not anywhere close to activating the on-play effect, which is really nice. So they might be in a little bit of a predicament where they're like, well, I wanted to play this, but they don't have enough cards in hand for me to get the full effect. Get a free block. I think the best play here is... let us bounce X-Drake. And Hina back to hand. Go 5 here. They'll likely block. If they block, we can swing with Orlumbus. I think it's fine to swing with Orlumbus at this point. All right, well, because they took that, we're just going to pass because we don't need to swing with the Orlumbus because it's just a free block for Borsalino. I think what I want to do this next turn is play my Luffy down. So whatever they throw at, like if they want to swing with their Issho at my face, I will block, clearing up some room for me to play the Luffy, and then I'll play the Luffy down, rush in, and kind of clear their board the best that I can. Or at least get some cards out of their hand. That's a good one. That is a good one. Swing 5. I think they're wondering what they should do here. Like, should they block? Should they counter? I think they're countering because they don't want to... They don't want to, like, trade anything. But I'm going to swing or Lumbus because I want to bait them into blocking. They're not taking the bait, but they are taking cards out of their hand, which is nice to see. Got a couple of 2Ks coming out. And then they have this huge 12K body swinging at them every turn, which is not going to be easy for them to get rid of. That's one way to do it. We're going to get them to swing their blockers at it. Perfect. That is exactly what I want to see. We're just going to clear the board as best we can. They're probably going to put a lot on to Kuzan, I would imagine. Now the question here is, do we play our Kuzan? I think we do. The reason why is because they're going to swing into the Kaido here next turn. Ooh, that's a really good effect there. Don't even have to worry about swinging in. Now we can start taking life freely because we're at 5 life and we're only 2 cards in hand, so we're not looking too pretty. If anything, we can probably use our Luffy next turn to clear out like the X-Drakes. They'll probably use the Borsalino on one of the attacks, and then the other attack they'll have to take. So we just have to assess which one's more of a threat. But we also have to see what we're going to get out of life here. They opt to not do a single thing. That is most interesting. Okay, so let's go Luffy first. We're just going to try to use Luffy as a way to clear this board here. If they use the Borsalino, then we're free to go and attack in with our Kuzan. They're not going to be able to kill our Kairoses. So Kairoses are going to be great to swing into stuff here. I don't know if you noticed this bug in the bottom right corner. We got an attack active bud. What is this? Okay, cool. They got rid of that. Go ahead and just send back some stuff that we might be able to use later. Go 7 to 6. It gets a 2k out of hand. Oh, it doesn't. It gets a blocker Hina out of hand, which is perfect. This baits them to use their Borsalino here. And we're going to swing the Kuzan. We don't mind the Kuzan dying this next turn because they're trying to use their next turn to clear our board. We're at 5 life. We only have 1 card in hand, but that doesn't matter because we have 2 unkillable Kairoses swinging next turn. So yeah, the Borsalino is going to be a pain in the ass, but you know what? It's fine. We'll be able to swing past it. I don't know if they'll be able to kill everything on our board. And if they use this next turn to kill stuff on the board, it's fine. We will tap the stage. I don't know why they did that. They could have just used it on the Kuzan. Kuzan's the bigger threat. That's very strange. Maybe a misclick? I doubt it, though. We'll see where they aim their next attack at. I feel like this version, the Navy version of Issho, is actually really potent. Yeah, I think they might have realized that either they misclicked there or they didn't realize what Kairos does. So yeah, unfortunate, but I think we still had the win the next turn. So what you could see happening is if they clear the Kuzan with the Garp, then they clear the Luffy with their Kuzan 10 drop. They swing at me, I'll take it. And then next turn, I just swing above what they could counter out of. So they have like 3 cards in hand. They're not going to be able to counter out of like 2 9k attacks or like a 10 and a 10 or like a 9 and 11. Never forget. So yeah, I think that is a good showing of at least what this deck does against like a green-black variant of it. It's definitely very scary to go against something that can also KO your stuff, minusing effects. But overall, I think Rebecca does it a little bit better. So there you have it. This is the deck in its somewhat full power. I would imagine that I might make some tweaks to the deck as we go along. I do like the 10-drop Kaido. I think it does have its place in this deck against certain matchups. Like I said, Queen, even though we weren't able to pull it out, I think it does really well in the Queen matchup. It does fine in like green matchups, and also it does really good in the mirror. So I think it's something I'll stick with for a little while. I'll test it out at locals. Let me know what you guys think about the deck list, what you run in Rebecca. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of crossover in what you run and what I run, but let me know what you think about this deck list. Test out the Kaido, let me know how it goes. Also, what would you like me to review in the next video? What deck list would you like me to highlight? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.